let us let us begin. So we have a lot to cover, I guess. So this one is I'm super excited for this one. So welcome, guys, to the Tape Partners webinar, the June edition. This one is going to be interesting because the Tape team is going to introduce the Tape forms, something we all been looking forward to for a while. So before we begin, I want to add something for the webinar. There's if you have any questions about for the forms, there's a feature here in Google Meets. I don't know if you can see it's on the right side. It's like, I think it's meeting tools, and you see a Q&A, and then you can ask questions on the side. And you can ask the question, and that way it will be easier for me and Jason to moderate the questions. And so all the questions are answers. That feature allows us to mark the question as complete, and we can keep track of them. So if you can use that feature, I believe it's on the right side. It says Q&A, and then you click Ask Question, write your question, and then post. You can do that exactly just like that, and that way I can monitor all the questions and see mark it as completed or answer, and then I can tell the Tape team about what questions being on. So yeah, so that's basically it. So Tim and Leo, that you can take the floor.
All right. Okay. So usually we wait until 2 past, and it is 2 past. So perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So welcome everyone. Thanks, Luis, for handing over and for organizing. And today, it's a big day for us. And you all know me. I'm Tim from Tape, and I'm CTO responsible for development and also co-founder of Tape. And today we're excited because we have something to release, and we've been working hard on this. So we're excited to show you what we have been working on so hard, and why we also have been keeping our heads down a little. Some of you might have noticed, but hopefully we can make up for that. All right, so let me start with a quick intro. We will be having an agenda, and I will be sharing my screen. Hold on a sec, entire screen. Please confirm that you can see my shared screen. All right, perfect. And so this is our agenda for today. As always, or as you might remember, we will have a Q&A in the end. So this is why I would like to request you to note your questions and ask them at the end, because of course we are really excited to hear them, and everyone is excited, and will be an interactive Q&A and feedback session. But to stick with the time and to keep some control over it, we have this agenda here. And so we are right now in the welcome session. We will be giving a quick forms premiere, your first look onto the new forms. Then I will be showing you how to create forms in Tape, the building flow, which is important because once you get access to the data, this is exactly what you will be doing, hopefully. And after that, I will present you some facts about understanding the fundamentals of forms in Tape. So what are our thoughts? What are the concepts behind it? How it is integrated into the system? And next up, we will customize some forms. We will show you how to link forms to database apps, and also how to create fields inside form apps. And then another wrap up about how forms will fit into the whole Tape picture, the whole experience. An outlook about the development status and what's next. There will be a bit of more talking. The other points are more interactive and demos. And then we will have our Q&A session. All right, so let's dive right into 2 forms premiere, which is actually just me sharing my screen and opening a couple of forms. And as you can see here, this will be the first one. It's very neutral. It's just a contact form with a few inputs that I can submit. Excuse the German. I did not take the effort to change my operating system to English. So this is why some of the buttons might be in German, but don't be confused. It would say submit, of course. The next form is a customer satisfaction form. Looks a bit more, with like more fields, and you can actually have select fields and multi-text fields in here. And this looks like a conventional, feedback form. Also, this one, it gives you a brief sneak peek into how you can arrange the fields into multiple columns. This is something that everyone is waiting for, I guess, and this, you can already do that in our forms engine. More about that later. The next form is a job application form. You see there's static text in here, like guidance text, instructions. What should people, what should people think about when they fill in the form, or is there anything they should, All right. And lead generation form. And the final one I want to show you, of course, is a picture. So you can also add pictures and make them a little bit more colorful and more visual. As I said, you will see more of that later on in the presentation. So those are a couple of forms that we prepared for you. Of course, this is just a very small part, and you will be coming up with more amazing forms, I assume. And yeah, so this was our forms premiere. And next up, we will be diving into the form creation process, which is crucial to get you started. Oh, sorry about that. All right. So we have an event registration workspace here with a simple app. You know this, nothing new. What you can do now is, and what everyone on the closed beta will be able to do is, when you create a new app, everyone knows how to create an app in Tape, but now you can choose a form as an app type. And so we will be creating a new form app now and call it event registration form. And we will select the app type form. Next up, as you can see, I need to pick my source, because when you submit a form, the data needs to go somewhere. And this is also something that where Tape stands out, right? If you use an external forms tool, you always need some place where your data can go, and this can be harder to set up. And of course, in Tape, because it's integrated, it's really easy. You just pick your app, event registration responses, and now I've selected my data source. And the easiest way, you can see I can either start with an empty form or can create a form based on existing fields. And this is what we are going to do now, because this is the easiest and fastest way to get started. So I click this, and now it just creates a form for me with all the fields from that particular app. Note that only the supported fields are added. Right now, not all field types are supported in forms. We will come to that later. So don't wonder that a few fields will not make it into here. Right now, this is single and multi-text and the category and status fields. But it's a closed beta, right? And we want to get this into your hands as soon as possible. More about that later. So what we will be doing now is, let me jump back. We will do a quick, sorry, I need to look at my script because the presentation is there's more to present today. I have a bit of, yeah. So now we will be looking at the fundamentals of forms. And, sorry, one thing I forgot to show you. Of course, one very important thing is that you can actually, of course, share this form, publish it, and click view here, which will open the form in a new window. And this is the share link that you already know from other share operations in Tape. And you can use that link, of course, to send it to everyone so people can submit it. I would post it into the chat, but then you get all distracted and will not listen to me in the next step. So that's why I'm not sending the link in the chat. But yeah, so that was the first step. And let me do some talking about the fundamentals of forms in Tape. And first of all, we received all your input, your ideas, thoughts, and feedback. And what we learned is that actually it's all about you need a lot of features, you need a lot of things to do, and you also need a great building experience. So I guess everyone cares about how it feels to build things in Tape, and we really put our efforts into making that really smooth. And we stepped back and we rebuilt the whole editing experience similar to dashboards. So this is actually something that we want to make consistent in Tape. So we started off with the dashboards last year, now it's the forms. And last of all, it will be the new record and app creation experience for databases, where everything will feel similar and will be really interactive. We will dive into that later. And it's all about advanced tools, yeah, right? You still have your advanced tools like calculation fields, automations. You have all of those things, but still it should be very tangible and easy to get started, right? And so this is like where tape meets both ends, and where we bring these two worlds together. And we are really happy with the current results. As we think you will be too when you get your hands on it. You just start writing inside of the form. So we will dive into that later, but right, you can just add blocks here. You can move things just like you can in your dashboards. And can everybody still hear me? Yeah, great, because my headphones just, the noise just changed. Great. So let me see. Let's look at the script again. Yeah, it feels like a doc, but it works like a form. And so this is, yeah, I'm really excited to hear your opinion on this, how it will feel to you. But everybody that has used the dashboards apps will be, yeah, it will feel quite familiar. And now it's time to see what that means in practice. So let's move to our next step, customizing forms. And what I want to show you now is how we can actually make that form a little more interactive here, and what we can do. So like I said, it's all about the editing experience. It should be easy and it should also be fast. So what I can do now is I can select these three fields here. Oh, sorry, I should stick to 3. And just like you can in dashboards and your reports, and you can actually edit all of these blocks at the same time. So I will move them closer together. I will show you some of these styling options. Of course, there are a lot, so I don't have time to show them all, and especially not all combinations, but you will have time to try that out. So now we're changing the label to the left side. We are changing the style to filled style, and also adding a placeholder, something like write your answer here. And we can also show the field icon if we want to. But as you can see, I can change these fields in place. And now if I forgot that now it looks inconsistent. These fields look like this and these look like this. So what I can do now is I can select this, edit style, and apply the style to all the fields in the form. And I click that, and now you see all fields are consistently styled. This makes it really easy, and you can also play around with different styles. You can just change one block, then apply it to everything, see how it looks, how it feels. And we believe this empowers you to customize your forms really easily and also efficiently. And probably I forgot something about, no, I think that was it. And yeah, of course, you might not need all the fields, so you can select a few and delete them. This will not delete the fields from the database, it will just delete them from the form. So it's more like a lightweight deletion just from the form app, and I can do an undo now with Command Z. It comes back if it was a wrong decision. And now I can do a Shift Command Z because that was what I wanted. And I removed the 2 blocks from the form. I can also remove more, but I will stick to these and leave them. Next up, I need to copy something from here. Yeah. So like I showed you before, you can also add static text in here. I can just click the plus button. And I can just start writing in here like a document, and I can add this static text in between my fields, or below it, or on top, wherever I want. And what I can also do is, of course, add an image in here. So I will just write /image, like in the dashboards, upload a file. I have prepared this image here for you. Add it, make it smaller, and yeah, now you have like a briefing for your form, including an image. Let me undo this. I think it looks better this way. And yeah, remember, I'm a developer, right? I'm not a visual person, so that's why some things might look odd to people who really care about visuals. But yeah, so as you can see, we have added an image. I can also, for example, this looks a bit squeezed right now, so I can change the form setting to make it wider, as you can see, which is cool because when you share it, it will also look like this to the end users. And of course, something that is everyone excited about, I can add my fields next to each other. And just via drag and drop, as you can do it in the dashboards, I can add a divider in here. So let's do that. And yeah, so there's a lot of customizing that you can do. And I could go on for quite a bit of time, but time is limited. So I would request my colleague Stefan to maybe also open the Forms app so we can show the live collaboration feature. Stefan, if you can open the event registration form. Do a quick refresh just to be sure. And just like any demo, it goes wrong, right? No, at least we see that Stefan is viewing the app right now. This is a little feature that you might have noticed in Tape over time. And Stefan, if you can, for example, if you can enter one of the blocks for a second, we still have room for the demo to go wrong. Or have you unlocked the form? I have, which is crucial. Yeah, I guess maybe we will wrap it up with this quick interactive demo. So you will be seeing when other people are on that app and collaboration. Usually you should see more information inside of the document that somebody is editing a few of the blocks. But yeah, just like any demo, maybe we will try another time. All right. Let me get back to the agenda. And yeah, we are done with number 5. And the next thing that is important to understand is that you can actually have multiple forms for one data source app, which is something that was limited in other systems and can be a bit annoying if you can only have one form per app. So in Tape, you can actually create a second. So I can just create another form app. I will call it Contacts. And point that to the same data source. And now this time we will start off, we will call it Contacts form. This time we start off with an empty form, and we will just, via the slash menu, I have access to the fields from that app. So I can now add the individual fields. We will just add the first name. So now I only have a first name field in here. And I can start with my form from scratch. And one important thing to understand is, here is that the field here in the form is detached from the field itself. So while the field is called first name, I can see that here with added linked field. This is the actual field in my data source app, right? First name. But I can actually also rename the label in here. And for example, name it, how do we name it? Rename field, first name, form contact. And now this field has a different label, but of course it's still first name in the data source app. So I have not changed that. And this is something really important to understand, that these two are decoupled as long there's a little switcher in here. I told you it's a lot of features, and it's also a bit of complexity that you will need to understand. But once you get a hang of it, it's actually very simple. This switcher here, if you switch it on, now as you can see, it's first name again. And if I rename it now, first name of Contacts app, and go back, my field will also be renamed, as you can see here. So you can also sync this. This is maybe for forms, it's not obvious why you would want to do that. But the reason we have it is because you will have that later for the record, right? So that's why we wanted to already prepare that feature. And so it's already fully integrated into the engine. All right, so what I wanted to show you now is when I submit this, so we call it test XY, we submit, it's submitted, I go back to the data source app, and here it is, here's the created record. And yeah, the base message is you can have multiple forms linked to one database app. Each form can have its own field settings, its own labels, so it's really customizable and detached from the data source itself, while it is still fully integrated. All right, let's go to number 7, creating new fields from a form in a linked database app. Yeah, this is actually a very useful feature because sometimes I have my event registration responses, which is nice. While I'm building the form, sometimes you will notice, okay, I need another field, right? And we wanted to make that so easy for you that you can actually create the field inside of the form. So I will be doing something like this. I will add a single select field. I will call it, yeah, I'm a developer, so I don't have a good real world example, of course. We would have something like your current mood. Then I can add options in here. Excited, tired, curious, right? And now what I did is I actually created a field in my Source app. And we can go back here to the old, sorry for saying old, but to the current app creator that shows you your fields. And as you can see, your current mood, and I have created these category options in here. So this syncs back to the data source app. And also this is a preparation for, yeah, like what we told you before. This is how you're going to be creating your fields and editing your fields in the future. And you will see that in the future when we get there, but right now, this is the way. And what I also want to show you is I can duplicate this field, and it will actually create a copy of the field itself. So when you copy the block, it will copy the field as well. So now I have a second field that has the same name. Yeah, and I can rename this. Note that for newly created fields, the sync will always be on, because this is probably what you want to do. You can edit your category options in here. There's also different types of display types for the category fields, and you can also reorder them here. You can do all sorts of nice things, and this will actually change the category options. So this is there's no syncing that you can switch off, because of course there needs to be some sort of definition what options you have, and this will sync back to your database in any case. All right. Let me go back here. I hope, this was a good demo of how to create new fields. And next up, I want to show you something regarding how forms fit into the tape experience. So how are they integrated? And that might be something that you already noticed. A form is just another app, right? And you can share it, you can embed it, of course. You can view our new form in an embedded fashion. I can also show you that this is fully responsive, of course. So when you refresh, this will show up very nicely on a mobile phone or on a mobile device. And also, let's see if you move these next to each other, because it will be too narrow. Right now, it would still be below each other. So there's some sort of responsive logic that we apply currently to ensure that the form you build also shows up nice on a mobile device. And but what I wanted to show you is that this is actually a regular app in Tape, and that you can share inside of your Tape organization, and users will be able to submit the form. So I can, let me quickly lock this. You know the lock and unlock from dashboards. It's just the same for forms. So now the form is locked. And if another user, for example, Stefan, goes into the form and submits it, a new record will be created in Tape. So we do that now, test X, Y. Oh, Stefan he's visiting maybe. So maybe we will see a newly created record from him. And I will submit this. And you see, thank you, your submission has been received. And I could start a new submission, or I can view my submission, which will open the record in Tape, and it shows my face beneath it, which is really nice, because we know that you are actually inside of Tape. You're logged in, you're in the form. And this is a cool, streamlined way to have dedicated creation processes, right? So you could just share a form to somebody and have them fill out the form in Tape, and replace the current creation process with this. Just an idea. And as you can see, it shows that it was created via, and you can also click here, which will open the form that the record created from, was originated from. So this is a feature that you already know from the automations, and it's really useful to track down where are things actually coming from, especially with multiple forms per app. All right. Let me quickly look at my cheat sheet here. I already said that form apps are just like dashboard and database apps. They're part of your workspaces. And you saw that it's all connected, it's all integrated, clean and simple. That means you can use them for internal workflows. and I'm curious to see what you come up with. Probably it's just a piece of just a fraction of what the user base will be coming up with. All right. So I think we are good on time, and I will be diving into my more theoretical parts where I will be doing more talking. So the development status and what's next. And yeah, so as you saw, we have done a lot. We've been keeping our heads down and working. We've been working really hard on this. And as you can see, it's decent, but there's already also quite a few things still missing. And we do have a way to go. So that's why we will need a little bit of more time, but we also wanted to give you some of the value as early as possible. And right now we are rebuilding all the fields according to community needs, and we're not only rebuilding them, we're not only redesigning the UI, but we're also adding brand new features like default values, like field value level access, and more. So that's why it takes us a bit of time, and it's actually quite, it's more than a rebuild. It's more like you take this and you make something bigger out of it, and you rebuild it in every way. So right now, these are a few field types that you can already use. And what's coming next? We will be adding more field types, of course. We will be starting with file fields because they will be so important and useful for, of course, for forms. I guess they're part of the core process. And next up, what we have in mind is, or what we are planning to do is expose this new experience that you saw to mobile. So what we want to do is we will be using this here. Sorry for the developer console. Yeah, this is better. So you will be able to use some of that UI to do some of those things that many people are asking for. You will be able to use that to edit existing records in the Tape mobile app and also create new records in the Tape mobile app. And while it's only a few field types right now, it can already open up a few use cases and maybe even unblock some users and also some potential customers. So this is why we are doing that. And we want to bootstrap not only forms, but also that mobile experience. And then when we roll out the new field types, it will actually not only roll out to forms, it will also roll out to mobile. So that is the idea behind it. And what else will we be working on? Of course, the rules feature. So showing and hiding condition based on conditions. You will be able to show and hide fields and also other blocks. And this is much anticipated. And it's also quite complex, but we already have the foundation and the concepts, and we will need to roll it out to forms first. We'll be having a drop down for a select field. We will, of course, develop more field types, and we will also write more help center articles, which is something that my co-founder Stefan has been working on a lot these days, because he also said there's a lot of things, so there's also a lot of documentation to get you started and to help users. And we will be having a community survey to ask you what we should do next, or at least which field types will be most valuable. And the basic approach is building in public. So each new field will work in forums and also in the mobile right away. And we want you to have the value as soon as possible. While we are still a small team, we feel that people are very anticipating this and are really waiting for things. So that's why we decided to have a subset of the features already exposed to users, also to collect the feedback and to help us move fast into the right direction. And the best part is that everything you just saw, and also the editing experience, that is exactly the engine that the new record will be using. So everything that we are doing right now is already paying into that record experience, and also the feedback loops we collect now, the bugs we find and fix, they will also already improve the quality of the record release. So we do have some synergies there. And let me see. Sorry, the headline was that is the best part actually. So this is just like the pre-steps to prepare the new record, which is something that everyone is anticipating. And the forms are a good preview of what you can expect. So right now we have a forms private beta, and we build it to move fast. We will be shipping updates daily, sometimes even hourly. And that means, yeah, sometimes things might also break. It is a beta, and there might be bugs or quirks. And also the menus or the UX might change, but I think it's inevitable in the process. And we are not new to developing in this agile fashion, but usually we, once we release it, we have less evolution on the feature itself. So first of all, we hide the feature and we test it in production. And then once we are through our Q&A process, we release it to you. But in this case, we are releasing it a bit earlier. So that's why we ask you to, for your understanding, if something goes wrong or looks odd or whatever. So there's more, but time is flying. I want to save the time for the Q&A, for the interactive session. And so that's why I don't want to bore you with too much talking. But I just want to note that, while there are a few fields missing, and of course, we have a way to go, but there's also pretty cool features that are already inside here. So there will be field access in forms, so like field permissions that you can already leverage already for the creation process via, if you have a form in your tape app, that should be working. And you have individual placeholders, tooltips. You can make fields read only. You have a checkbox style for select fields. So there's a few hidden features in there that I would like you to try. And it's more, in detail, it's more than it looks on the first contact. And of course, because the formats are fully integrated into Tape, you can, of course, already leverage them in combination with automations and also in combination with dashboards. This is something that we can also show here, right? So once there are submissions, I have my submissions dashboard here. Right now it shows 5, and we can submit another one, test. If you go back, now it should show 6. Yeah, right. So, and this is something I believe where Tape really stands out, that you have this interconnectivity of things, and it's so easy to set up, right? So I could create a new workspace, a database, a dashboard, and a form in just a couple of minutes, as you saw, which is also great for presenting it to clients. And I guess that's it mostly from my side. So I'm really curious to hear your questions, and I will be wrapping up. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. Building was hard, but it was also fun. And it is also fun because we are still building this. And I guess that's it from my side. I will be moving over to Q&A and feedback. Only, Stefan, if I forgot something very crucial in my presentation, can you point me to it? Because Stefan helped me with preparing it. So I guess we didn't forget anything too crucial. The rest you will be testing. So I will stop sharing my screen and we can dive into the Q&A.
Perfect. Thank you, Tim. That was a fantastic presentation. As you see, we got a couple of questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be going one by one, and people in the call, please ask the question so we can go by one by one. So let's start with the first one, which was by Darren. I don't know if you can see them. It says, will the URL from the forms be customizable to have our organization name within it, or be able to use it our own URL? Oh, good question.
Yeah, I can take that one. So right now, there's no way to customize the URL, but of course you can also always use a proxy or a URL shortener or whatever you want to point to that URL. So this is what we would recommend in that case. The URL itself is not customizable.
Perfect. So the next question, this one was made by me. So can you embed forms in the calculations fields to create records in other apps? And the reason for that is yesterday I was building something and I just added a button, and then the automation created a comment for the person to click that link to go there. And then I saw this, I can just embed the form so they can build it directly in the record. Is that possible?
I'm a developer, so I mean, it's HTML, it's an iframe, right? You can embed it. There's no way. I mean, we could prevent it, but we won't prevent it. So you can do that. Yeah, it's possible in a calculation field, and also it's possible in dashboards.
Oh, fantastic. It's going to be cool. So the other one was by Tomas. Will relationships fields be available in the future?
Absolutely. So that is a crucial question, and they will absolutely be available. So once this is what I wanted to point out. So actually the forms will be able to handle, I guess, every field at the end of the day. And we will just need to define the order in which we will implement them. So certainly relationships will be working at some point in the forms.
Perfect. So the next question is by Anon Mail. Apologies if you're going to cover this. What field types will be supported in forms? Especially, will relations be supported? Well,
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. And this is the other question is by Dirt. Can forms be embedded in web pages as a JavaScript line of code?
Dirk, can you emphasize that a bit? The only way to embed would be via an iframe.
Okay, I compared with the Mautic thing we use currently when we work around not having forms in tape, and Mautic has a little script code which displays and embeds the complete form into the page. Not sure if this is an iframe at the end or if it's just generating the form at this place. I can have a look into it. But this was an easy way to get forms at the web page wherever you want to have it. That line of JavaScript.
Okay. Yeah. So for us,
and look into that if it's an iForm, and I can also forward you an example.
That would be nice. Yeah. So, but there will not be a way to have like a dedicated piece of JS that you can just add, because the web app is too complex. So it will certainly need an iframe usually. But that is also common for other forms tools.
Okay.
Perfect. So the next question is me again. Can you edit the thank you page design, the one that is after the submission?
Currently not, but that is something that we are aware that it will be added at some point.
Perfect. Next question is by Darren. Can you add files in the beta forms?
Once we have the files field, yes. So this is the next step that we will be implementing in a bit of time. Then you should be able to do that.
Oh, perfect. That's something I will use a lot. So next question by Anomail. Can we use automations in forms apps? Oh, good question. Yeah.
So right now, I don't want to tease you too much. So we do have many ideas with that regard. Right now, what you can do is, of course, when you submit the form, there will be a record creation trigger. So when the form is submitted, you can, for example, send a response email and all sorts of things. Right now, you cannot interact with the form while it is being filled out, but we have the technical foundation to also do that in the future.
Oh, perfect. Okay, the next question by Anomail. We will be able to use a form interaction as a trigger for automations for records created, updated in the destination app. Not sure I understood that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think that was a question that I think that is the one that I just read. So I thought there was one question. So you can, question one, you cannot really use automations while the form is being filled out. Not right now. That is something that is technically feasible in the future, but we don't have it right now. And but of course you can use the submission, like I said, as a trigger.
Perfect. Okay, we can go. I'm hammering you, Tim, with questions. So the next question is by Andrew. Guys, if you want to jump into the call to get more details, please feel free to do so. So Andrew asks, will the new record use more screen real estate? Meaning, will it be wider or configurable to be wider?
I love the word screen real estate. Maybe Leo, you want to take that one?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we have already all the designs for the new record are already finished. So we will have 3 basic sizes, and there will be a very large one and also a full screen view for the new record. So there will be a lot of space, and you can also collapse the activity sidebar pretty similar as you can do it right now at the automations. So you will have a lot of space for all your fields, because we understood when the customers can build different columns and more fields, besides of each other, we need more wideness in the record. So there will be a lot of options to have maximum space.
Fantastic. Okay, next question by Anomail. How accurate is the roadmap? Is it reasonable to assume that you are aiming for a release in the indicated quarter, or is it more of an indication that you're working on the thing in that quarter? A good question. Perfect. To me, you guys are working hard on it. It's working good. We got the forms today, so it's doing
So
fantastic.
what you need to understand is that we have approached a broad way of developing this rather than a narrow one, right? So a narrow one would produce one result quicker, but we aim for this wider approach, this broad approach, where we actually prepare the form. The form fields will be exactly the record fields with a slightly different layout. So that is why, yeah, we are working hard to get this out as soon as possible, as always.
Excellent. So next question is by Martin. As others have mentioned, the relationship field will be great, but if we were able to filter the related record that will be shown, that would be great. Yep.
Yeah, this is also Leo, right? This is something that you already have in your concepts.
Yes. Yeah, last week I already talked with Tim about this topic, because this will be pretty sure a rule. We were discussing if it should be a setting in the field or it should be a rule to conditionally filter the relation search. I think this is what you're asking for, Martin. And we want definitely integrate this because it's a very valuable feature. For example, you have a record you relate for a company, and in another relation field, you can only find the contacts which are related to that company. And this is something which needs our whole variable basement to leverage to achieve that, because we need to have the variables of the linked apps. So this is something in the basement we need to now address, and this is why we talked about that. But we want to definitely have that feature in the future. So we will lay the foundation for that, and we'll have that in the relation field.
Perfect. So now we're going to go to a bunch of questions by Mr. RJ. So let's start. Can we upload images? The first one. Can we
So right now you can, like I showed you, you can add static images to the form. You can upload them and add them to the form, but a user cannot provide an image when submitting the form. Is that the question?
I think so. Yep. Let's see. Okay, can we upload? Yep. Can we upload the image? Basically, the attachments. And to see the images, Leo, you need to go to the right side on the corner. It's like 3 buttons. There's meeting tools, and it says Q&A. Yep. Perfect. Okay, let me go back to the question. So can we upload images? That's basically, if we have the attachments, we will be able to upload anything we want, right?
Exactly. Correct.
But it's not available yet, right? The attachments.
Right.
Okay, perfect. And then the next one is, can we customize logo in forms?
Which logo?
That's a good logo. I guess the one that you put like an image in the forms for designs or stuff, I guess. Oh, the one shown is responsive.
Not that I know of.
Okay, perfect. And then the next question is, can we CSS format the text?
We anticipated that this question might come. So this is something where we already have the foundation, and this is also something that we can roll out anytime to forms. So yeah, not right now, but we have thought about it in the foundation.
Perfect. Next question: can we pre-populate the fields with database info? Ooh.
Yeah, this is something that is already available right now. So I can go back and show you if you like.
Yeah, please go.
Hold on. So I will be sharing my screen again. There. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is what I tried to point out earlier, that this new field experience that you have here, it will expose a couple of features that are not applied in the old world yet. So for example, if I go to your current mood field and I edit the field in here, you will need to click through those menus because there are a lot of features hidden in here. And the default value is one of those. So I can add a default value, and of course we are excited. So I'm adding this default value excited, and when you share the form now and you open it, it will select that. So you have default values, and you can also customize via URL parameters. That is also available already. Let me check. Some of you might have wondered why we developed this feature in here. Remember that we released recently with updating the external IDs. This is actually the reason that you need to use the external ID for the URL parameter in the form. So if you open the developer settings here in a form, it will show you the fields that you have added. So if I remove that field in here, I will only see those. And it will only show you the fields that you have inside that form in the order that you have added them. And you can use that to parameterize the form. So I think it's this syntax. Let's check tester. And now it should fill in tester. Yep. So you can use that to pre-fill the form via the URL. That is also something crucial, and we have considered that from the very beginning. And we will roll it out eventually to all the different field types along the way. Right now, it's only working for the field types we have, but we will be dragging this along and exposing this to all new field types where it makes sense. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it does. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. Tim, sorry, can you please hover over the add name to add an icon? Probably this is, we can do the company icon. Can you go back, please? Exactly. Then to the Forms app. And here you can add the icon. So you can upload an icon and yeah. Here, custom, and upload, and then there's the company icon. And the other way would be with the image. Just put an image.
You're right. So this is how you will actually be able, not the top one, but this one, you can add your own icon. You can also add your I'm shrinking it right now. This is how it's going to look. So I think this is a reasonable way to add your company icon. Great idea. Thanks, Stefan, for chiming in. And you want to change this one? Yeah, not right now. This will be more like a white labeling feature that we might also need to charge.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not something you are very keen about, I can imagine. All right.
Okay, perfect. Let's continue with the next question. Can we redirect on completion?
Also, one of those features that we are aware that we might need this. It's really easy to implement for us. So if many people give us the feedback they really need that, we can roll it out anytime. Not right now.
Okay, perfect. So next question, can we have mandatory fields in the forms? Oh, the required ones. Yep.
It's a good mixture. It's a good mixture of yes and no's. It's almost like these questions have been leaked somehow to RJ. Yeah. So let me share my screen again. So yeah, actually you can have required fields in forms. So that already works, and it's detached from the data source itself. So let's check. I can, for example, make the name required. It's a display option required, and you see, yeah, required. And now when you open the shared form and you empty this, you will not be able to submit because you need to fill in the name. So now I can submit. Yeah. So the answer is yes.
I have a follow-up question on that one. If I created a field and my field is required, will be force required on the forms? Like, for example, I have in the customize fields, I have and text fields as required field. Will the form force it as required?
That is the thing. You can actually decide whether you want to force it as required or not. So you can have it non-required if you want that.
Okay, got it. Perfect. So let's continue with the next question. Can we embed this into an email, for example, or several forms into a web link?
I think into an email, you can't use an iframe in an email, so that will not work. But yeah, I'm not sure I get the question. So you can, of course, you can build a website and embed multiple tape forms in it if you want to do that.
Mhm.
You could do that.
Okay, next question. Can we have a form that has fields from different databases? Oh, good question.
Not right now.
Perfect. Okay, so keep going. Could we have a trigger in automations in form link is click and open, especially nice if the populator is working?
Yeah, this is what I mentioned before. So we have the technical foundation to actually expose automations for a form that is currently being submitted. So the architectural foundation is there, but we will not be rolling that out in the near future. But we can roll it out. So it is feasible.
Excellent. And the next question, could we password lock the form or parts of it or info in it? Yeah. Password lock it.
I have right now I don't have an idea how to do that using our own features, not right now. In the future, you might be able to do that using rules. I'm thinking about it, right, Leo? If we could have something like if that value has a field has that value, you could show another field. So, but I'm not sure if.
Perfect.
Yes, maybe via rules.
Isn't that like I saw in the forms that you can share them on the top right corner? Isn't that the way you block them for
This
people?
is, and now I understand the feature. It's part of a share feature. So in other tools, you can in the share option you have set a password for the form. This is something when we get a lot of requests, we can add that because we already have thought this feature through, but for the moment we don't have it.
Perfect. Okay, so the next question is, can any of the form app fields link to the destination app field be a source for pre-populated or fillable responses? In example, if we link a form to a contacts app and a record may already be created, can the form pull data from the destination app records? Oh, that's a very technical question.
Right now, that is not possible. But also for that, we have the technical foundation to allow that in the future. Something like I think what you're talking about is exposing an existing record to be editable via a form. I think that is how I understand it, right? So you want to have a record that already exists, which is pre-filled by some sort of logic or by your organization members. And you want to share that record in a form so people can complete it basically and then save it. So yeah, also for that, we have the technical foundation. I don't think it's a near or close roadmap feature though.
Yeah, and you can actually do that with Procfu. So exactly that, yeah. So a tool, yeah.
And we will use that
Shout out.
for the
Yeah.
mobile.
Yep.
The same feature.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Next question is by Mr. Jason. Will the share URL be available in a calculation field or automation?
That is something that we could think about because Leo, or you want to take that one? No, I can. I mean, right now because the share is basically just a secret that every format has a unique secret, which is the share link. So of course you will need to copy it and move it into your automation manually. Right now it's not available as a token.
Perfect.
But as Tim already mentioned, for editing of existing records, which was a previous question, we already thought about action in the future for the automations, but not at the moment.
Excellent. So the last question I got here is, can we customize the text on the required? Also the text shown as an example inside the field, currently same as the field name.
You can certainly, so the text shown as an example inside the field, I believe you mean the placeholder, right? If I understand that correctly. RJ?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So this is certainly possible. So you can customize the placeholder fully. You can also add an icon to it. Best will be if you just test it yourself. But I can show you here. Right now it's the name of my label here, so I can just go in here and edit style, add a custom placeholder, and add RJ wants a custom placeholder. And I can also add an icon in here, like whatever. This one, right? So now you have a custom placeholder. Actually, this is really cool if you want to hide the label. This is something that Leo also likes. So no label, and you just have the field with a placeholder that describes what should go into that. This is part of the new layout options.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let's go to, we got 4 minutes. So the next question, what happens if we have a required field for the record, but this is not present in the form? Oh, it's the same thing I asked before.
It's the same thing, and Leo and I have been discussing this quite a bit from a product perspective. Our required fields are not like, I mean, some people here are technical, right? And you know about databases, how they enforce like a non-null constraint, right? A field cannot be empty. It is physically not possible for a data record to not have that field. And this is not how required fields work in tape, right? Because already right now, you can change along the way. You can change your mind and make a field required that was not required in the past. And then your records will not have that field as well, right? So while we do validate in the API, right now for forms, we decided that this is something that you actually might want, right? Because you might actually need it for certain use cases, because the customer or the end user that fills in your form maybe doesn't even have all the information, but you still want to have the field required inside of tape, such that once it is filled in, it cannot be cleared by a user in your table. And from then on, so basically when the field has a value once, it will have a value from then on. This is how it's done right now. Leo, correct me if that was not accurate.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. It was also a requirement from our community feedback that required fields in the record should be not required in the form sometimes. So we make that possible.
Okay, perfect. Okay, the last question, we got a few minutes. Asked by Mr. Andrew, is the expectation that eventually the API will be updated to allow the creation of both a dashboard app and a form app? Also, will the record refresh change the current API considerably?
Yeah, great question. And this is something where we do have some work that we will need to be doing. It's from a conceptual perspective, the power that you get with dashboards and with forms and with a new record, the layout is, of course, the data structure is more complex. So we can offer an API for that, but it will be more sophisticated, right? Because it's not just a couple of fields with a position ordering. It's more than that. It's like a hierarchical recursive structure. So that's why it is technically possible to have an API. And of course, we might also expose an API for simple form creation if you just want to arrange the fields next to each other. But then at some point it will get more complicated. And I'd say in the future, and from a product perspective, there will be a full API. But it will take time.
Perfect. So the last question from us: is there any signature field in the works? A signature field.
Maybe I can say something. We think about that as display option of an image of the field, but it's not the highest priority because we want to be pretty fast with all the fields so that we can release the new record, and then we do another iteration over all fields to make more features possible. Like we want to have a profile picture option for image field, if you have a single picture field, and all stuff like that. But when we would now release all the sub features from each field, it would take too long to have the new record. This is the most valuable thing we're working on, and then we will do another iteration over all fields and bring more features.
Excellent. Okay, so we reached the hour. I do have one last question for you guys. When can we play with this? When gonna get access to it?
Yeah, we our plan was to give you access right after the call.
Perfect.
So if you
What-
refresh the tape in a few minutes, and if you provided your emails to the
Perfect.
registration or the beta, you will get access.
Perfect. And one additional question: can we post like questions in the forums, or do you want to keep it a little bit more private?
No, I think you should be posting in the forums. Yeah,
Got
so
it.
everybody also sees what we're working on, and
Got it.
hopefully hears your great feedback.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, excellent. So we reached the hour. That was a fantastic presentation, guys. I thank you so much for the hard work. Really appreciate it. You did a fantastic job. I'm gonna see how can I break it. I always do. So keep it going. Perfect.
Oh, we just saw. Did you see that? Apparently our invite was wrong. The time.
Yeah, I saw that. Just the time zones. Me and Jason been working with that. He's in England. I'm in Florida. It's just a pain working with the time zone. So yeah, but
But I think for many people it worked out.
oh yeah,
There's been quite a bunch of people on the call.
yep. Excellent.
I'm looking at the calendar automation right now, so sorry about it.
It's just time zones. It's a pain to deal with those.
Yeah, I just
anyway.
saw. We can think about extending a few minutes to
Yeah, sure.
welcome these people and they can say our excuse that apparently something was mixed up, but it looks like a 50-50. Tony, I saw your heart. Sorry. There will be a recording, right, Luis?
Yeah,
So
it will be.
this is the good thing. And we appreciate that you still showed up, even though there is a recording. But because usually when there's a recording, people don't even show up. So we really appreciate everybody that showed up. You
Yeah,
are
but it's-
special.
Yep. So if you guys have any questions, we can do a few more minutes, correct? So John, if you have any questions, the one that jump in, just be happy to ask them.
Gentlemen, yeah. So I obviously I'm late to the party. I'm over in the Eastern time zone, so I'll have to be more mindful of that in the future. I already got an answer from Jason. We right now for this initial beta, we do not have the ability to upload images. Quick timeline, no guarantees. Is this something short term, or is this a little bit, couple of months down the line?
No, it should be there in a few weeks. So we will be releasing constantly. So this was the idea, to get your hands on it now, and then we will be releasing things constantly now.
Nope, for sure. I just have an immediate use case where we've been leaning on jot forms a lot, and I had been putting it off for the last couple of weeks to potentially get to play around with this. So not a big deal there, and I appreciate the transparency for that one.
Excellent. Any other question, guys, before we wrap things up?
No, it's nice to see everybody for about 5 minutes.
Perfect.
Next month.
Next month. Perfect. So, guys, thank you so much for joining this webinar. And as always, to the Tate team, excellent job. We will keep in contact next month. Next month, we will talk about ProcFu. So get ready for that one. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody. We appreciate you showing up, even though there is a recording. All right.
See you guys later. Okay.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.